Why am I in here? The question of consciousness has been endlessly debated, but one question that will always seem to reign in terms of both physicality and existentialism is, why am I in here? Meaning this body, this mind. How or why do I know and experience existing in this particular order of molecules that I call myself? Specifically, I'm not talking about the evolution of life from particles that were able to form bonds and complex systems and eventually created the universe we experience today. The more interesting question isn't how did we get here, but how did a bunch of swirling atoms eventually make something so complex that our present universe exists, and I somehow feel like I'm in it? I know that I am in here in this body, and I can assume that other people are there in their bodies too. We can generally concede that our intelligence is related to our sophisticated network of neurons we call our brains, and that perhaps consciousness lies somewhere in these connections. But if we are able to equate consciousness with a nervous system, how does this apply to other beings we know that also contain similar neuronal networks to our own? If I'm in here, is a chicken and a cow also in there as well? What about other animals? Do they all experience this quality of isness similar to my own? Or is this something that is only limited to a certain type of animal, the Homo sapiens? If a hyper-intelligent alien from far across the universe came to us and we told it that it did not have a consciousness because it was not human, what would it think of us? It would probably see us as nothing more than an ignorant, arrogant ape, but it might still acknowledge that in humans there is the experience of external stimuli and the apparent response to that stimuli. But is consciousness just a response to stimuli? For what purpose would natural selection give rise to this quality when it's not completely apparent how this phenomena helps better an organism's genes to continue? Whether or not an organism feels and experiences something is not necessarily beneficial to its proliferation. In fact, it seems like it would be detrimental because now the consciousness of that organism is there to fully live through the pain that corporeal existence brings. Perhaps whatever consciousness is not something that is a particular function of things we understand already. But perhaps this quality of being is related to something far beyond our conception. Perhaps this quality of being is the foundation of existence itself. Humor me, and allow me to elaborate. Imagine a universe where there are no conscious entities, no particular loci in space-time, able to experience that particular universe. If it exists, but nothing is able to experience that quality of existence, isn't it as good as if it doesn't exist? If a tree falls in the forest and nobody is there to hear it, does it make a sound? I see consciousness as the light we hold that shines existence onto things, for without consciousness, what are we to experience? But paradoxically, something must also exist beforehand, so consciousness has something to experience, because an experiencer without an experience doesn't produce the quality of existence that we're trying to explain. Maybe existence and consciousness go hand in hand the whole way through. Perhaps the creation of the universe and the arising of consciousness weren't completely random events in the midst of total chaos, but instead the great laws merely unfolding as we are constantly watching them do. Perhaps even now we are just laws in action.